Chapter 1. Darius, one of the huntsmen that worked for my stepmother, Queen Griselda, skulked into the castle kitchen and made his way toward me, weaving around the other scullery maids bustling about their tasks. Ironically, his secretive behavior was what caught my attention. He had never been one to hide in the shadows when there were people around.
"Princess, come with me,"
he whispered urgently, eyes darting around furtively all the while. Intrigued by what he could possibly want that required stealth, I wiped my hands on a rag and trailed after him. Darius was a charismatic, cheerful fellow, well-liked by the servants and nobility alike, but he was acting strangely distracted and jumpy this evening. He led me out of the kitchens where I worked, through the castle, and out a rusted side gate that groaned in protest as we pushed it open. The night was already dim as the sun had sunk beyond the horizon, but a few pink and purple streaks still hovered over the tops of the forest trees. It felt as if we walked in silence for an age. "Where are we going?" I puffed. I was short enough that I had to jog occasionally to keep up with Darius's exceptionally long strides. Friends though we were, I didn't love the idea of sneaking out of the castle so close to dark.
"Forest,"
he answered brusquely. Darius's fingers kept opening and closing on the hilt of his dagger at his belt, and his eyes moved ceaselessly, not in the normal manner of a guard surveying for danger, but in a nervous, distraught way. I had always been keenly in tune with the feelings of people around me, particularly when I could tell they were distressed somehow. Anytime someone felt uncomfortable, I could immediately sense their discomfort and would go to great lengths to alleviate it, people-pleaser that I was. Right now, Darius's behavior screamed anxiety to me. "Is there anything I can help you with, Darius?" I asked kindly. We were fairly close in age, with Darius only a few years older, and in my several years as a servant, I had sewn buttons for him, brought him meals and drinks when he filled in for the night watch shift, and cleaned his barracks regularly. He had always been kind to me and was a loyal supporter of the royal bloodline. He usually called me Princess, even though my stepmother stripped me of my title after my father had died. Whenever my stepmother wasn't around, Darius continued to show me the utmost courtesy and respect, as if I would still magically become queen one day. Darius closed his eyes momentarily, as though shutting out my words, and didn't respond. We skirted the main streets and wended through dark, unfamiliar alleyways in the village that surrounded the castle. I got the distinct impression that Darius didn't want us to be noticed as we strode toward the great, dark forest that grew beyond the village. Many of the townsfolk were afraid of the woods, saying that evil spirits lurked there. Sometimes at night, people claimed to hear shrieks and wailing emanating from them, which further reinforced their fears. I didn't know what to think of these rumors. I couldn't even remember the last time I'd left the castle grounds before this evening. Usually, the queen kept all the servants busy from sunup to sundown, and as a foreign delegation had arrived the day previously, there were even more dishes than usual. The cooks kept us scullery maids working all hours as they slaved away to prepare the royal entourage's favorite dishes. It wasn't that I thought Darius would ever take me anywhere dangerous. He was too protective. Even so, the shadows grew increasingly dark and foreboding. I drew closer to Darius, apprehensive about entering the eerie woods. "Why are we here?" I couldn't help the nervous quiver that edged my voice. I still had several pots to scour and bedding to wash before I could turn in for the night. Whatever errand he had, I wanted to finish quickly and return to the brightly lit, comfortable kitchens in the castle.
"Just a walk,"
he said smoothly.
"You don't get fresh air often, Princess."
I wanted to laugh, but the pressing darkness smothered any trace of humor. "I've told you before, I am no princess. Not anymore. I'm happy just being a servant, and this servant still has pans to scrub tonight. So whenever you are ready, I would like to return." I saw Darius